Okay, welcome back, gentlemen. Today we have the debut of SS Werewolf. His opponent today is Hey Hey. Right, so I usually ask people when they send in the replay, just give me a general, well, give me a name first, because sometimes your Discord name is in the in-game name, and I'll just be looking at the replays like, wait a minute, who am I supposed to be paying more attention to? Ah, well, but yeah, usually I ask, give me an in-game name, give me a short description of what you thought, why you thought the game would be interesting to watch, and how long the game takes. Werewolf here wrote me like a whole after action report, which I like. I'm not complaining because if all the longtime viewers and of course my very close friends that play games with me, everyone knows I'm the after action report man. It's my thing, which I really like. But I try to ask for the general description just so that when something like interesting does happen, I can give you a genuine reaction to it in real time. So I just sort of skimmed through his essay, and what I've gotten is that it's a 15-minute match, so we're just gonna run it at normal speed, which is great. That way I can analyze the micro. Uh, but what Werewolf was describing, the main general thing that I really wanted to know was that he found it interesting because it's basically focus on one player being better at micro and tactics and the other player being better at the macro, the strategy and the eco. And straight off the bat we can already see that Werewolf here went full eco boost, all cities, all garrisoned. You can see the funds in the top right corner. And Hey Hey here, he has yeah, he's basically neglected it. um so okay, there's nothing inherently wrong in the sense that it's not the meta, right? The meta is you just boost the eco, you boost everything. Um, there are pros and cons. If you don't boost the eco, right, that means you've got 5 extra. Well, depending on the map, of course, but on average, you will have 5 extra units on hand as a reserve to go in and cycle any kind of offensive that you want to start. And of course, by if you want to start, I mean you have to start. If you're gonna go this strategy, you got to go all in fast and just be right on with your micro and your cycling. So we are not seeing that here. So on Hey Hey side, we've got 2 dots in reserve on the south flank, a dot in reserve in the north, and everything else has been committed to the center. The center is where the big battle right now is going on. We've got all the armor deployed on the plains and the hills tiles. Very good. Nothing on the forest. So no real Miss Michael there. And the unit eliminated there. Yeah, no. If you want to do this, you gotta pull everything that's in the reserve right now, put it in here, and you gotta start cycling. There's 0 cycling going on right now. Um, yeah. What is happening here? You're trying to, yeah, this guy's pinned. If you want to get this guy out, you gotta have to pull these guys away. But since you're committed to this assault, you might as well just go all in at that point. Okay, here we go. Okay, nice. We're pulling back all the reserves. You've also pulled off a unit from the north side here. I approve of that. Werewolf is right on the money there. The moment that he sees a unit being pulled off, he just goes straight for it. That's good. That's good situational awareness there. That's very nice. Okay, so we have some units being pulled off. We got some cycling going on. Okay, thank God. What do we have going on the backlines? We've got units being produced. Okay, yeah. So this is why you got to be super aggressive. We're at the 4-minute marker now. If you, it's around about like 4 to 5 minutes. You need to have achieved a breakthrough of some kind, and you need to be pushing towards an enemy city. This is from Hei's perspective here. If you're going for the full offensive strat, no eco boosting, it's around about 4 or 5 minute mark. You've got to already have a breakthrough. You've got to already have a plan of attack to take a city in like the next 5 minutes after that. So by the 10-minute marker, you should be already, taking the city and hopefully, winning the game. You are behind on schedule in that regard. It's yeah, not enough cycling going on. Yeah, you still got a couple of units. You're spread out thin right now. And Werewolf has already got a couple of units built up, and he's already committing them forward. Yeah. Okay, I give you this. I give you the extra tips, right? If you want to go this gambit that you're going for, you need to pull more units off from your other flanks, right? And then you need to collapse the defense around the cities. I'm not saying that you give up the whole thing, because obviously you still need to cover the flanks of whichever front you're attacking with. In this case here, you've elected to go through the middle, go through the pass. In which case, you need to collapse the defense around mainly this city here and along this side, and then just the city on this side. By collapse defense, I mean you just gotta pull in units, all right? So on this city here, you can just pull in, because the city can supply up to 5 units if it's encircled. I'd say pull in about 4 units into the northern side city, and then pull the rest towards to cover this flank here between the city and this mountain here. And that way, if your opponent doesn't know what he's doing, he'll overextend and you could very easily counter encircle, get a breakthrough. Or if not, if he is smart, he won't really push that aggressively. Um, so you can get out of that. Okay, nice. We have an encirclement in the center. This is the kind of win that you're looking for, but it is a little bit too late. You needed to have done something like this like a minute or two ago. Now it all comes down to how Werewolf is going to play it. So far, Werewolf has played it completely fine. He Here's what I would do though, Werewolf, is like the units that you've built or the units that you're cycling, just put them on the city and just pull the guy out. I think you're just being a little bit too cautious because you're trying to, make sure the city is like properly defended. That's only the case for like a city like this right here, that's like on the front line that you can tell that he's attacking. Then by all means, put a fresh unit on it and then keep it there. But for other cities, right, that are further back, okay, not this, but like this one up here, you don't need to be too careful because I don't think he's gonna be able to like really break through fast enough that you wouldn't be able to react with any extra reserves to relieve and defend the city. I would have just put that weak unit right on and then rotate this guy out and then start cycling him on the front line. It would have been more economical and you would have plenty of time, as I said just now, to pull in reserves to defend the city properly if he ends up going for the push. Okay, so let me put back up the stats. Okay, in terms of troops, Hey has actually up despite not boosting his eco. We are looking at, yeah, just combat losses by the looks of it. Okay, good. Yeah, down by 20,000. Okay, more maneuvers going on. Another elimination there. You want to be careful with this, right? So if you're gonna stack up the units like this, then you need to play the cycling game, right? So the way it works, well, the way the meta is the morale bar. The moment the morale bar depletes, pull the guy out, put a guy with a fresh morale in, and then try to recycle to and fro from there. If you only have 2 units that are running an offensive on like a front line, well, it's just the theoretical side, right? You won't be able to fully replenish the morale bar if you're just going to wait for full morale bars. That's not how it works. You need like multiple units to fill in that case. So that's when the health then starts to degrade even longer. But it's always good practice that if you have something with more morale or some morale compared to a unit that has no more morale, that's on the offensive, switch it out. Just switch it out. But yeah, I was gonna say that if you're gonna stack up an offensive like this, you gotta make use of all the space on the front line and start spreading them out. No point in trying to keep the units just stacked up behind, which you did do here. You did remaneuver, so you placed all your dots along the whole front line, and now you've got mismatches of 2-on-1s on the fight here. Okay, we have this is interesting. Eliminations. You pulled in armor. If you want to use the armor on this side, on this map, put them on the hill tiles. Yeah, you're already doing that. Okay, nice. Collapse. Very good. If I were you, Werewolf, if he was already pushing this hard and he starts making a push on another flank and you're not quite capable of, properly defending the center, what that means is that he's already making ground. Don't try to counter him in his second front. Just collapse the defense around your cities. Take your time with that. You left some of your units on that front line for a little bit too long. I don't think you were paying too much attention to that. Um, which happens. It's very common. Nothing to worry too much about that, but it's something to think about. If you can't handle, all the multiple fronts and all the multiple units, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just giving up some space. So long as you don't give up a city, alright? That's the only like big thing that you don't give up. Just don't give up the city to the enemy. Giving up space is completely fine. That is like a proper strategic maneuver that's in the War of Dots playbook that you have available to you. Use it. Okay, we have an offensive in the south now. We got a tank battle. What is going on here? You're trying to go for encirclement with just 3-on-3. Remember, power projection, the way it works, it's the cities, they lend power projection, of course, units. Okay, hey, Werewolf is now bringing the light. This is a good opportunity here to get a pick off one of the armor units. Yeah, we're at a 10-minute 40 marker. Troops are still in favor of Hey Hey. He's still getting really good trades. But the longer this game goes on, it should shift into Werewolf's favor. Unless you can keep up the encirclements and keep up the pressure and keep eliminating him at a rate where he can't replenish it fast enough, then you might have a game on your hands. But that usually means that one player has to be, have a really large deficit in the micro in that sense. Which, it might be this game. We're going to see that play out. So we've got an encirclement of 2 armor units here in the south. And an elimination. These guys are toast. You're not going to be able to break them out. That is really good play right there. That's not bad. We've got micro on 2 flanks on the opposite ends of the map. That's what I'm looking at here. I don't think Hey Hey is quite capable of microing both sides of the map on the opposite ends that quickly. He missed it. He wasn't paying too much attention here. Ooh, that's a big win right there, actually. Yeah. The offensive in the center is already paused. Both sides took very heavy losses. Right. Here, you can actually get this city. Funnily enough, hey, all you need to do is just work on your cycling. The timing is off on cycling here. Like, you don't want to have the unit already be depleting his health. You want to, once the morale bar, that's your first yardstick of measurement. Once the morale bar is depleted, then you got to start cycling. And then as the battle is progressing and if you've made the decision to fully commit to this fight, that's when you can start trading off the health. But it's the morale first. Okay, you've now committed your reserves with the full morale bars. Very nice, very good. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You're right next to the city. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you gotta rotate another guy in to relieve this dude. Oh, there you go. Yep. Get the mismatch. Focus on the dude that's on the city. Oh, the armor unit's in the forest. He's a pixel off here. Yikes. Yeah, that dude's gonna die. Zoom out here. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, he's not paying attention. You get the city. Walk in, bro. Walk in, werewolf. Both players trying to handle. Yes, there we go. All right, yeah, that's basically the game. Well, theoretically, basically the game. We've seen in many other replays on this channel where this is where the fun starts beginning. All you need to do here, right, is just keep the units right next to the city and just let him come to you. There's nothing much he can do. He does not have enough forces to counterattack. You've got the armor superiority as well. Yeah. Now it's just the defense of this city. Yeah, you've repelled it. Yeah, you've repelled it. His armor is negated by this forest that's surrounding. So long as you can put the dots on the hills tiles and prevent his armor from properly deploying on them, just set. There's not much he can do. Now comes the question of whether or not he's okay. Yeah, so and going for an encirclement like this doesn't work because the city can always supply up to 5 units. So even if you encircle, quote unquote, encircle these guys, they're not actually encircled. The city still supplies these 3 units here. What you are doing is that you're overextending your own units, and yeah, you're getting some bad trades there. Okay, battles in. Oh, Werewolf managed to snipe the other city in the center here. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, this northern offensive is not gonna go anywhere. You got a full health unit on the city, and yeah, you've already broken the encirclement. Okay, yeah. As I was saying before, you wanna stack them on the city, and if you can't quite stack your units on the city to defend it, you just need to give the move order towards the city. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you managed it. You managed it. That's what I'm talking about. So that in the case that the defender dies, you don't just freely give up the city. You can still get in on it. Nice. That's basically it. We now have a 2-to-1 ratio of troops on the field. That's decisive. Yep. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, it was quite an entertaining game. Yep. Gave me the opportunity to showcase all the different nuances in the game, what you can, what you can't do, what you can get away with. Um, yeah, very nice. I found it quite entertaining. If you have a replay that you would like me to cast, you can find me on the War of Dots official Discord server. You can find the link to that server on the War of Dots official website. Um, what you do then is just DM me. Don't send me a friend request. I am very skeptical of like people sending me friend requests, and sometimes I'm not paying attention as to whether or not we're in the same server or not. I usually just immediately decline the friend request. Just give me the DM and just say that War of Dots replay that I like to send you, whatever, and then yeah, we can have a look at the replay. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see y'all later.